everybody, welcome to Jolie Knots Crochet. I'm Crystal and today I'm going to teach you how to make this asymmetrical boho tube dress. This dress is convertible. You could wear it as a skirt. You can make it any size, any yarn, any hook size. I recommend going up a hook size so you have a little bit of a better drape. And the measurement for your chain is just going to be your bust size. If you are making it for somebody else, you can Google online, you know, their sizings and bust sizes, and you're going to make your chain that long. You want it to be a little bit taut because this is a tube dress, so you want it to stay up, but we do have some convertible straps, and I'll show you guys how to make those also. These, let me show you. Okay, so this dress, we are going to do groups of 2 half double crochets. When we get to our increase, this is either going to go to right underneath your bust or to the smallest part of your waist, whichever you prefer. When we get to our increases, this is what it's going to look like. And you can wear this on the side of your body or on the back of your body. This can be going down the back. I mean, even the front, if you like. Might look a little funny just being long in the front, but when we get down to our desired length of where we would like our slit to open, this one's my daughter's, so I have this opening just like under her knee, and then we're gonna start our decreasing, and then we'll have open work on the bottom. Okay, now when we do our straps really are just chains of about 2.5 feet or so. And these are removable. You can take it off, you can put it on, you can wear it crisscrossed in the back. I'll put up some photos. You can put it crisscrossed in the back. You can go straight up and down. You can do it halter style, whatever you like, whatever you prefer. That's fine by me. The whole idea of it is convertible. So let me show you another one that I have here. This one that we're looking at, I did this in a 4-weight cotton yarn with a 6mm hook. So this is all 100% cotton with a 6mm hook, category 4 weight. And this one that I made for myself is a 2-weight yarn with a 5mm hook. I did think it was a little bit heavy for a 2, so maybe just like a heavier 2, which is why I went all the way up to a 5mm hook. But this is a 100% acrylic yarn, and it is an ombre. So you'll see that the tube starts out gray, and then I start to begin my increases. My color is changing, and I started my slit for mine probably about a few inches above my knee, really. That's going to be the highest part, or like mid thigh to knee, somewhere in the middle there, but it's up to you. So it's going to be whenever you want to stop your increasing, and when we start our slit, that's where we're going to be decreasing. So I decreased and I went a lot of rows, and then I did my open work on the bottom. So I'll put some pictures up of that so you can take a look. Again, I used a 5mm hook for this one, and like a bit of a heavier 2-weight yarn. The tutorial that we're going to do right now, I'm going to use a 4-weight yarn and a 6mm hook. Alright, so how we're going to get started is we are going to get our slip knot, take our hook, and what I'm going to do is chain. The chain amount does not matter. Like I said, it does not matter. You're going to go and make the chain just as long as the bust. When you measure it, we want to be careful though So this is going to measure 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. Now if I give that a tug, I can go all the way to 5 inches. So when you measure your chain spaces or your chaining, you do want it to be taut. You don't want it to be like pull crazy, but you also don't want it to be loose, because then it's just going to be all saggy around your top part, and it's going to kind of eliminate the whole entire idea of being a tube convertible. Okay, so when you get to your amount of chains, what we're going to do is slip stitch to the first chain. And now we're going to be working in rounds. We're actually going to be working in continuous rounds. So you're not even really going to, I mean, other than this first row where we're counting stitches as far as, you know, going back and forth, we're just going to keep going around and around and around and around. Okay, so let's chain 1, and let's go ahead and put 2 half double crochets into that same stitch. 1, 2. Now we're going to skip 1 chain space, and into the next chain space we're going to put 2 half double crochets. 1, 2. And again, skipping the next chain space, working into the next, 2 half double crochets. So continue that all the way to the end. 1, 2. Just a few left. Now if you, because we didn't count our chain spaces, if you don't have a chain space here, no big deal, just go ahead and put them together anyways. But what we're going to do is we're not going to, what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 half double crochets into this first space here. Not on the top yet, we're going to put it into this first space right there where your chain 1 was. So 1, 2. And now you're going to notice that we are starting to make this continuous round. There's not going to be slip stitching to the next space. Now here's the easy part all the way to the end. We've got our two half double crochet groups, 2 half double crochet group, 2 half double crochet group. We're going to continue doing that in between the groups. So 1, 2. Skip the group, go in between the next. 1, 2. 1, 2. So we're going to continue this all the way around. For my daughters, I made hers to probably about the smallest part of her waist. You're not going to want to make your tube any longer than that, otherwise it's not going to fit. I mean, your tube has no increases, so your increases are going to start for your hips and your bottom and then go down for more of a flowing effect. And here's where the beginning of our round was. Well, our round 2, but we're not going to count, so we're just going to keep going. So go ahead and do, once you do all of your rows, I'm going to make this a little bit longer. Like I said, this is it's so customizable. It doesn't matter the yarn, the hook, it doesn't matter the size of the body. What you really want to do is follow the pattern. It consists of chain stitches, half double, double, increasing, and decreasing. Okay, so now that we've got our tube, this is the top of our tube. When you stitch in your ends, you just want to stitch that up a little bit. Make sure that it doesn't look too gaping. So when we stop and you finish and you get to the size that you want to stop, put your tube down and stop right around the same side as here. And this is just going to be easier for us to hide where our seam is. Because we're working in continuous rows, we're going to have a little bit of a space here that we kind of want to hide under our arm, and then on the other side is where we're going to start our increases. So let me show you. Once you've got your last 2 half double crochet group, we're going to chain 1, and this is going to be our transition row. So we're chaining 1 and we're putting 1 double crochet into this space. Chain 1, and we're going to put 1 more double crochet into the next space. Chain 1 and a double crochet, chain 1, and now we're going to do that all the way around. Oh, and here's where we're stopping. This is our transition row. So after this row, we're going to do double crochets all the way across. So remember when we put all our stuff down? And this is where our start was. That's where we're following down, and that's where our transition row starts and ends. Now on this side, we want to find, you can put a stitch marker if you like. This is where we're going to start our first increase. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue just putting, we don't need that chain 1 space, double crochets all the way around. Okay, so here we are at the other end of our double crochets. We still have not worked our double crochets here, but once we get halfway around our tube, that's where we're going to put our increase. So our increase is going to be 2 double crochets, chain 1, chain 2, 2 double crochets. So we've got double crochet all the way around, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Okay, and now we're going to finish double crocheting all the way around. Whoops. Okay, so now we've gotten all the way around our tube. And we're just going to continue double crocheting all the way to our increase. And when we get to our increase, it's 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's what we're going to do. So continue doing this until, like I said, your slit or your increase side gets to the desired length where you want your slit to start, where you want your work to start opening. That's where you're gonna start your decrease. So I'm gonna do a couple of more rounds here, and then I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that. So let's finish up this cute little doll dress. So I'm making this one for a doll, but remember, you can make it for any size. Okay, so here's where I'm going to stop my increase and I'm going to start my decrease. Okay, my last stitch before I get to my increase is, well, it's technically going to be these last 2 stitches. So what we're going to do is our last 2 stitches of the round, we were increasing by 2, and now we are going to decrease. So with our last 2 stitches, we're going to double crochet 2 together. So half double crochet or partial double crochet, and then a partial double crochet into the last stitch, and then yarn through all. That's the first part of our decrease. Okay, now we're going to chain 2. Flip your work. We're going to skip this first stitch and we're going to work into this stitch, but this chain 2 is not going to count as a stitch. And now we are just going to double crochet all the way around. So this row, this is a 1 row repeat. In your decrease, it's a 1 row repeat, just like your increase was. So at the beginning of your round, you're going to chain 2, skip the same stitch that it's in, and then double crochet directly into the next stitch, and your chain 2 is not counting as a stitch. So don't work into that one, we'll go around again. Almost to the end of this row, your 1 row repeat row. And we're going to double crochet all the way up until we have 2 stitches left. Okay, so here are our last 2 stitches, and we're going to double crochet 2 together. And that's how we're going to end our decrease row. Remember, beginning our decrease row, chaining 2, skipping that first stitch, and then double crocheting into this next stitch. Okay, all the way across. Let me get another row of this done so you can start actually seeing. I hope I'm making my doll dress big enough that you can actually tell, you know, what it is. Okay, so here we are nearing the end. Remember, this chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So 1, 2, those are your last 2 stitches. So I've got one more double crochet to go. And then we're double crocheting 2 together over the last 2 stitches. Okay, so setting this down, here's what we've got. We've got our tube, we've got our top tube, our transition row, our increase. Now I've got our decrease, and now I'm going to show you how to do the open work decrease on the bottom. Okay? It's really just the same as our double crochet decrease row, but now it's going to go a little faster because we're going to get to do like fillets. So chain 2, double crochet into that first stitch, I'm sorry, the second stitch, not that first one, and then we're chaining 1, skipping 1, double crocheting into the next. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next. So chain 2, double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, all the way to the end. And when we get to the end over here, we've got 2 stitches left. Instead of double crocheting 2 together, we're wanting to leave a space because of that window here. So we're just going to skip 1, don't chain 1, and double crochet into the last space. Okay, now chain 2. Turn your work, skipping the first stitch, we're double crocheting now into that first space. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next space. So you're going to do this all the way around. And that brings us to the end. Okay, so technically here at this end, our skipped stitches here, and then these 2 are the 2 last stitches. So we're gonna chain 1, just like normal, skip our first stitch, and then remember how we've been ending the other rows is to double crochet 2 together. So the first one is going to be into that chain space, and the second one is going to be into the last stitch. Pull through all loops, just like that. Chain 2, turn your work, skipping the first stitch, double crocheting into the next, which is our chain space. Chain 1, double crocheting into the next space. So you're going to complete that until as long as you want your hem to go. You don't want to go too long because it is like closed work or open work. If it goes too long, it's just gonna like kind of crunch together because there are not all these double crochets hanging. And since it starts decreasing, it just doesn't look that good. So ideally, I mean, it's kind of like making our own bottom hem decoration. So ideally, like this one here is, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows at the bottom of mine. This is the bottom of my dress. And then for my daughter's dress, she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rows. I don't know why I did that. Go figure, just because it looked good on her. I'm not sure. And it's convertible and you can do really whatever you want. I do have a tester that she stopped her dress to be like just below her waistband, and she turned it into a top so that her increase was either on her side but like maybe down to maybe her short line around there. But you can take a look at my Facebook, and I've got plenty of photos there. It's Jolie Knots Crochet on Facebook. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notifications bell if you want to get notified of all the new videos that I put up. Leave me some love in the comments and let me know what other kind of tutorials you guys would like to see. Alright, thank you guys for watching.